Cut that, Bobby, we're going live. Breaking news. Today at 4:45 a.m., Poland is being invaded by close to 1.5 million German troops, led by former ally Adolf Hitler. Along with this, we are also being notified that they have begun to bomb Polish airfields, and their U-boats have begun their assault against the Polish Navy. This all comes just after Hitler had signed a pact with said country. We later found out in an interview that Hitler only came to this agreement with Poland to prevent any alliances with France. An alliance with France might have resulted in losses for Germany, or even made it harder for them to make certain moves against their now enemy. Hitler played the other countries even more by signing a pact with the Soviet Union. This then led Germany to be able to strike Poland with no worries of the Soviet Union getting involved. This was a very well thought out plan and great strategy by the dictator leader Adolf Hitler. Then, today, September 1st, 1939, Germany has attacked Poland and an invasion is in way. Experts are saying the outlook is not great. Germans should have complete control within weeks. Britain is also looking into declaring war on Germany. Only time will tell. There is also word that the Russians and Germans plan to split the land they obtained from Poland between them both. We cannot be completely sure of this, but we're putting everything into consideration at the station. We talked with a former spy, and he says that Hitler even has plans to enslave the Poles. He believes them to be less human than everyone else, leading to his extreme beliefs. We also know that the Germans are using a new technique to attack Poland. They call it Blitzkrieg. This means that they will cause disorganization of enemies by using concentrated firepower. This new wave attack is proving effective with how hard of a hit they have gotten on Poland. They have been focusing on firepower in specific spots, and this allows them to pass through the defenses like a hot knife through butter. Our next story for today is on Winston Churchill. Born in 1874, Winston Churchill is a strong-willed leader of Great Britain who will never surrender to the Axis opposition. Churchill was born into a wealthy family, allowing him to get a quality education. Even with the great educational potential, he was a poor student, never studying for his classes. Despite this, he did surprisingly well in his math and history studies, and had a great fondness for English. This was not enough to save his educational career, as he never got to higher education. Money cannot buy you everything, as he was a child with, and still has, a speech impediment. Though he was mainly worked through it, it persists. After spending many years in school, he went off to do time in military, and became a decorated war hero. During his time in the military, he discovered a love for the cigars, an item that has almost become known with his name. Once his time with the military had concluded, Churchill decided to go into politics, and was very successful in this field. For example, in 1905, he became Under-Secretary of State for Great Britain's colony. If it were not for this fondness between the two, the United States may have never joined to help us in our fight against the Axis powers. This is all we have covering for Winston Churchill today. Stay tuned for information on various topics from the war. Before we go on to our next topic, we would like to give a word to our sponsor, penicillin. Made and developed from the penicillin fungi, this prescription-only drug has saved countless lives. You can get this miracle medicine today from your local pharmacist to get you feeling better in no time.
Before we continue with our daily broadcast, we would like to give out a paid promotion to one of our sponsors, Spam.
To give another shout out to Uncle Sam's Industries.
Spam was one of our diets to feed our army with. Spam was used as a B ration to be served in rotation with other meats behind the lines.
So if you want something quick to eat, have some Spam.
That was a paid promotion from our sponsor, Spam. Now, on with the rest of the broadcast.
Our next story for today is on the Gestapo. The Gestapo is Hitler's secret police force, so to say. As of now, the leader of this group is Heinrich Himmler, who has replaced former leader Rudolf D. The Gestapo actually acts under its own jurisdiction, and only follows the rules it sets up. As a matter of fact, it makes the rules and enforces them. The Gestapo has no way of checks and balances, leading to a corrupt system. They use intimidation methods to strike fear into the eyes of their victims. The Gestapo would make arrests, they do the interrogations, and they even do all the executions. They have absolute total control. This all along with the fact that the combined rumors and the others made the Gestapo a group that everyone was afraid of and did not want to mess with. Their power is immense and unchecked, making them significantly more dangerous. Last year, on November 9th and 10th of 1938, an act by the name of the Night of Broken Glass occurred. During this time, Jewish buildings were unfairly vandalized and ruined. All of this under the control of one person. This was actually the first massacre in which the Nazi Party did so just because of ethnicity. This one event would end up being minuscule to the biggest act of murder under racial prejudice, the Holocaust. Literally translated into whole burn, the Holocaust was a more effective method for racial extermination. Though the Gestapo specifically may not have had the greatest role in the event, this role was still felt. They were mainly used to round up most of the Jewish Holocaust victims, mainly the enemies of the state. Regardless, the Gestapo are still something to be wary of. If you are in areas under Nazi control, be careful with what you may say, or else you might get killed. Rounding off today's show, we have a public service announcement from our friends from the government. Our troops just recently won a fierce battle from the clutches of defeat, and it was done with your help. The money that we had spent on war bonds allowed us to win against the menaces from the east, and we have want to win again. We will have to get more. However, for now we are able to rest easy knowing that our troops have slowed down the enemy with confidence, and that we will squash them in coming weeks. This has been Anchor Thomas, telling you to keep calm and carry on. Have a good evening, and good night.